So everyone thinks that once they have multiple 3D printers, they have a toy factory or a mini production facility that you simply send the file and walk away and wait for it to be done. But I wanted to talk today about what happened to me this last week, where my operations have essentially ground to a halt because of material issues. So let's talk about that. Now, I've talked before, and you'll see at lots of places, all these new 3D printers are so much better. They can do a lot of the calibrations that used to be done manually, and you can pull it out of the box, set it up, and be printing within 15 minutes. But at some point, you're going to run into problems. That's just going to happen because of issues that you may cause yourself or issues due to the material or someone else. And you need to switch from the production mindset to the maintenance mindset. So what I'd like to do today is talk about the 3 issues I've had, take a look at them and how I'm working through those issues, and hopefully help you out to realize a lot of these issues you can handle yourself. So the first one I want to go into is on my SnapMaker U1. And I'll admit right now that this is an operator-induced error that I had to fix. So I was excited to try using TPU in a multi-material print, but I didn't properly adjust the speed and other settings to be able to run TPU, and I run into issues with one of the tool head. Let's take a look at that one. So in the process of doing a test print using TPU on the SnapMaker U1, ran into a clog, and it was here on tool head number 4. So let's take this one off and see if we can get a look at it. So what happened is, started seeing the TPU come out the side here. And if you look in there, you can still see the orange from the TPU that we need to get out of there. So let's see if we can go about taking this apart and repairing that clog. First thing we need to do is take out the tube. So we just push down on the ring and pop that out. And then the power, as you can see here, is you need to remove these 2 screws. And we've got it off. So let's take it over to the workbench and see what we can do about taking it apart. Here's a quick video showing how I disassembled the tool head. Now, again, I went to a YouTube video specifically to go through this because it does take a number of steps. And if you see, there's 2 hex heads that I'm using because there's 2 different size screws throughout this whole unit. So it does take a little while. You take it off the cover and you've got a couple of circuit boards you need to take off to get into the back end of the tool head where you can get to and get a look at the gears. So working through, finishing up here. And once I've got it open enough that I can see into it, now comes the process of getting the TPU that was stuck in there out. You see, it took a little bit of pulling to get this out, but I worked it out, and you can see I got it to come off. But the other thing I'll make mention of here is I got this out and I didn't see it right away, but there was also behind the nozzle, there was another little piece stuck there. So once you get it taken apart like this, make sure you go through all the parts to make sure you get everything cleaned out of there. And then you just put it back together and put it back in the machine. So the second issue I ran into was with my Anycubic Cobra X. And this is one you will probably see sometime during your time with 3D printers. And that involves a clog of the nozzle. And again, I didn't catch this right away, so it built up a little bit to make it even more interesting to do. But before we go into what we've done, the one thing I want to point out that's nice about Cobra X is that the nozzles, it's not the full unit like the other ones. The part that you replace is just this little piece of the nozzle right there. It's a $8 part, easily replaceable. But in this case, that nozzle ended up looking like this, a nice green color coated with all the filament around it, and that's what we have to replace. So let's take a look at what I did there. So when I pulled off the head for the Cobra X, this was what I saw, the nozzle encased in the filament. So to get this off, first we had to heat the nozzle up to 250 degrees and start pulling off the filament. And the first part is easy, getting the big amounts. What took the time was getting in there and cleaning up the little bits that were stuck to every part of it. So carefully went through and took our time to try to clean it up as best we could. And then once we got it all cleaned up, see about putting the nozzle back in. Again, a simple assembly. You just stick it into the position there, and you got the two sets of clamps to clamp it into place. Now, I'll admit the first time I did this, I put it in backwards with the front side facing out. The flat side of the nozzle needs to face in the back. And then that top part, you can tell when it's in there properly because it'll close right up. See, as I push it up in there and close it up and know it's secure in there. Put the cover back on and tested it, and it was good to go. So we are back up in the Cobra X. The third issue they run into was with the AMS units for my bamboo P1Ss. And as you see over here, this is my tower, which they normally stored, but neither of them there right now because we have them off, broken down, and still ordering parts to get those repaired and back online. But let's take a look at what's the issue with the AMS units. So here's a look at the inside of the AMS. Simply how it works is your filament spools sit in here, they're fed through here, down through the PTFE tubes and out to the printer. A major issue could be with the PTFE tube, which is required to change out periodically. But if you look here, it's very hard to see. But these PTF tubes are splitting down here at the connection, which makes it very hard to feed through. The wear and tear will be based on a number of things. One of them could be on the type of filament. Some filaments, like a silk, they're rougher and they'll wear down on it more. What we've switched to on the other AMS units, which we have a part at this time, is that we've switched to these PTFE tubes. And if you look at them, hard to see, but there's a star pattern in the middle. So essentially the filament isn't riding right against the walls of the PTFE tube, and hopefully it makes it a little stronger, lasts a little longer. The second issue, which was more of an issue on the other AMS unit, involved the rollers. We got the rollers in the back and the small ones in the front. So this is what the spools ride on. And again, one of the issues we found is we still have a number of cardboard spools. The filaments we buy still come on cardboard, and they are pretty rough on these rollers. And so now if you got them riding on here, you got the cardboard and the rubber from the roller that gets into the feeder and could cause further problems. So what I want to do now is take this apart and take a look at these issues and what we need to do to fix them. This is just a look at the AMS and how we disassembled it and an analysis of the problems. You see there on the back rollers, you get some gouging back there and also some severe gouging on our front rollers. So to take this apart, the first thing we do is the rollers just pop out of there from the back end. And then you have a series of screws that you just have to unscrew to get those out of there. The one thing I'll say about the rollers, the big rollers, in our analysis of it, it looks like we may be able to reuse those, but we did have to order those smaller front ones because there was more severe gouging there. But what we're doing now is getting this off so we can get to the back end and take off the PTFE tubes. So get it out of there and get the two cables off the back, and now we can get to the back end. And as far as getting the PTFE tubes out, it was a little work, nothing too hard to get, but to pop those off. But you still have to take the whole unit apart to get to these. And now this AMS unit had the nicer PTFE tubes, which they didn't split, but you had some distortion of them. You can see it right there. The other thing that we saw is when we look at where the filament goes in, there is a lot of garbage and trash from the cardboard and the rubber going into there. So we also needed to clean that out before we put it back together. So there were the issues I faced this week that all came together. And when I started thinking about them, I thought back to my time in the Navy and how everything we did, we had a qual card to be able to do that. And after every issue we had, we do a mission debrief. So on a submarine, when something went wrong, we didn't panic. We had structure and training, which would lead us to successfully overcoming the problem. And I think that same structure needs to be brought into the 3D printing world. Again, I don't think you need to know how to build your own 3D printer, but you need to have a basic understanding of their operation and what could go wrong. And whether you look through the wiki pages for each of these type printers, or you look at some basic YouTube videos, you can find different issues and have an understanding. So every time they occur, you're not doing multi-hour internet searches down rabbit holes trying to find the answer. So there is my thought. I hope I didn't scare you on this, but again, just because you have 3D printers in your shop doesn't mean you're just production and trying to get things out. You also have to have an understanding of the maintenance, periodic maintenance that you need to be doing with your printers, and also be able to handle any problems that may occur while you're doing your operation. And again, I call out to the community, what type of issues have you had in the last month that you've had to overcome that have bogged down your operations? Leave them in the comments below and give us your mission debrief of what you learned, and hopefully help out others in the community. Now, to be clear, I still love the 3D printing community, even when I have weeks like this with all the issues coming around. But I'm calling you to embrace the challenge of it, not just the printing itself, but the operations and understanding. And I hope to go through more of the things that happened here in my shop and how I'm overcoming some of the issues. But until then, my name is Rick. Thanks for spending time with me. If you found this video useful, again, hit the like button and subscribe. That helps me out with my channel. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.